So this guy was it wasn't the most popular player to ever come from Owen Sound, Ontario. I'd like to see who is. The man they call Apple Cheeks, Harry Lumley, had so much of a fan following during his key years in the NHL. Member of the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1980. Fortunately, people since then have looked at his career a lot better. When he got in the Hockey Hall of Fame, people were questioning, well, maybe he didn't have the statistics. But for his impact on hockey, he was just as popular in Detroit as it was in Toronto. And we're still talking about him 40 years after he got in the Hall of Fame, and that shows the respect he has. Now, like I said, Harry was born in Owen Sound on November 11th, Remembrance Day, 1926. Grew up playing local minor sports. Now, he, being a multi-sport athlete, he took to the field in all facets in a very positive and constructive manner, but took quickly to hockey and eventually wound up being a top-notch goalie. Now, he played for several years with the Owen Sound Mercuries and later with the Owen Sound Orphans, who were called that because he could not find a sponsor, and then the ever-classic Barrie Colts. He also played with the Indianapolis Capitals of the AHL, which was a minor league affiliate of the Detroit Red Wings. Now, he first saw NHL action in 1944 with the Detroit Red Wings, where he played 2 games, and also played with the Indianapolis Checkers that year. Now, in a very interesting twist of fate, he made his professional debut not with the Red Wings, but the Rangers in the 44 season, when he was loaned to the Rangers for a single game due to an injury replacement. Now, he was and remains the youngest goalie to play in NHL history, and he was only 17 years old. Now, he first became the legend in the fans' minds in the 1950 playoffs, when he led the Red Wings to a Stanley Cup title, recording 3 shutouts and a 1.85 goals against average in 14 games, in the start of that early 1950s dynasty for the Red Wings, which dominated and held back the Montreal dynasty of the mid to late 50s. Now, for some reason, after his performance, Jack Adams probably didn't want to pay him and traded Lumley to the Chicago Blackhawks. And then the great Terry Sawchuk became the new goalie for the Red Wings. Now, after playing with the Blackhawks for 2 seasons, he was again traded, this time to the Toronto Maple Leafs. In '54, he won the Vezina Trophy, presented annually to the NHL's best goalie, with a goals against average of, get this, ladies and gentlemen, 186. His 13 shutouts that year were a modern NHL Hockey League record that stood until Chicago's Tony Esposito got 15 in 1970. He was also named first All-Star team goalie in the 7th National Hockey League All-Star game. Now, in '56, Lumley was traded back to Toronto, then refused to play for Chicago, and played the next year in the American Hockey League. He played with the Buffalo Bisons and the Providence Reds, one of the 2 most popular teams in the association. Now, Lumley would return to the NHL in '57 with the Boston Bruins, and he played on and off with them from '57 to '60 as he rotated his duties with the great Don Simmons. He would play one final season with the Winnipeg Warriors of the Western Hockey League before retiring. Now, when he stepped off the ice after 60 NHL season, he had 330 wins, 329 losses, and 142 ties, and a 2.76 goals against average. Now, he was the first goalie to have won 300 games and lose 300 games, but look at the teams he was playing for. He was elected again to the Hockey Hall of Fame in 1980, and after retiring, Lumley was a longtime co-owner of the successful Orangeville Raceway, and unfortunately he died on September 13th, 1998 of a heart attack. Now, Lumley originated the tactic of making a pocket at shin level in goalie pads so pucks would drop straight on the ice instead of deflecting off them to an opponent. Very, very important part of the goalie tools of the trade, or we call it the tools of ignorance. Now, the community center in his hometown of Owen Sound, which he continued to live in the community after retiring, was renamed in his honor prior to his death. It is now officially known as the Harry Lumley Bayshore Community Center. And again, awards and achievements: Stanley Cup in 1950, All-Star Game appearances 51, 54, 55, NHL first All-Star Team goalie 54, 55, Vezina in 54. Now you look at the raw statistics, ladies and gentlemen. He had some rough years in Chicago. Played mostly 500 hockey with Toronto. But to me, ladies and gentlemen, his best overall campaign was that 1950 season, again, where he put up 33 wins in 63 games and had some great totals in the playoffs. Now, final playoff totals, 29 and 47, 46 games. And again, that 1950 Stanley Cup Championship, where he won 2 7-game series with 3 shutouts that year. Now, playoff averages are very important. 2.49 in the playoffs with 198 goals against in 76 games. So very, very impressive totals. Now, getting 300 wins in a modern NHL is very rare. Okay, as of today, which is November 22nd, 2020, there's only been 36 players with 300 wins, and it's a very, very rare thing. It's very rare, almost like 500 home runs in baseball. But again, you look at the modern goalies, where he's a part of. He was passed actually by Carey Price in recent months, actually. So I mean, it's amazing. It's amazing to look back at a campaign or a career, and to see so many people put up such great numbers. And you look at the people on the 300 win list of the lower levels, like the top 30. You got Gump Worsley, Sean Burke, Billy Smith, Olaf Kolzig. There's a lot of similar players. But I think Harry Lumley, why he was so much a fan favorite, great smile, great personality. But he was a pretty big goalie for his era, 6 feet 195, and he stand-up style. But I think why in Toronto he was so popular, he was the precursor to the 1960s dynasty, because Toronto had kind of fallen at the wayside a little bit in regarding to getting to the Stanley Cup Finals and getting past certain teams into the final to play Montreal or Detroit, and he kind of reestablished Toronto after kind of being in the wilderness. But how he was treated dirty by Chicago, I don't blame him for not wanting to go back. I can never understand management in Chicago. That's all I can say. So that's the legend of Harry Lumley. Please give us a like, comment, and subscribe. We appreciate you dropping in, and don't forget, keep your stick in the ice. Bye.